Hey everybody, welcome to a Cricut craft tutorial. I'm going to show you guys this bunny up close. It's a little hard to see from the original with me in the shot. So we're going to show you guys this guy up close. All you need to do this project is a heat source, so an iron, a flat iron, an easy press, a heat press, parchment paper, Teflon sheet, something like that to protect your vinyl from your heat source. A little cute stuffed toy, it could be this rabbit, which is $6 from Walmart, or you could find one anywhere else. And then just an HTV in the color of your choosing. So it's a really easy craft to do, doesn't take a whole lot of time. Let's go over to Design Space so I can show you just a few tips and tricks on how to save HTV. So over here in Design Space, I've already typed my words in, welded them. I figured you guys didn't need to watch that whole part. But for anyone wondering, the font is called Liar's Script, except this E, which I hated the Liar's Script E. So that E is from Christmas time. But I want to show you just a few little tips and tricks that you can do if you're using HTV to save yourself some space. So I want to try to use as little HTV as possible. These are really small. They're only about 5 inches wide and about 1.5 inches tall on both of them. So they're both pretty small. So we can actually place them together like so and make sure nothing's touching and cut them. But if I turn this upside down, I can actually fit it closer to it, and I might need to scooch it just a little bit because I've got it a little off center. But I can actually scooch it just a little bit closer so that it saves just a little more as far as height wise. So what I'm going to do is select both of my designs, which I've already welded. Make sure when you're using a script font that you do weld. And I can tell you right now it's only 2.5 inches tall and it's only about 6, almost 7 inches wide. So that's only a really small piece of HTV, and I'm saving a ton of little extra space, which is always a plus in my book. Now, I showed you we measured the ears, so I know about how much space I have per ear. So the name is about 5 inches and 1.5 inches, and then same with the first Easter, about the same size. But I want these to stay the way I have them. So what I'm going to do is select both. All I do is I drag a little square and cover, like touch both pieces. But you can also select all, which is right here. And you can also do deselect. Or you can go over to the Layers tab and click on both of them and select them. So we'll just attach them. And what that does is it tells the machine not to move them. So what we're going to do is click Make It. Now, again, we're using HTV, so make sure that you mirror it. And we're going to cut out our HTV so that we have enough to do this. We need only about, I would say, just to be safe, you'll probably want to cut about 8 inches by about 3 inches, and you should be just fine to fit this. So let's get over to the machine. Let me make sure that she is on, because I never on. I always forget to, and then I go to click Make It, and it gets mad at me. So we'll get it on, and when you click Continue, I'm going to use hot pink glitter because it's for a little girl. And I thought it would look really cute on the bunny and really stand out on the bunny's ears. So what you're going to want to do is go into your Browse All Materials and just search glitter if you're using a glitter iron-on. And when you get to glitter, you're going to see glitter iron-on. Go ahead and select that, click Done. And it tells you what tool you need. So for the Maker, it's just a fine point, and same with the Explore series. It's just the blade that came with your machine. So let me get over to the machine. I'll show you guys how to load it. When you load your HTV onto the mat, you can see this is the glitter side, and then that is the plain side. So for glitter, you want to go glitter side down, and then for regular HTV, that would be like a solid color, you do what they say shiny side down. And there's a couple great tips as to how you can tell which is the correct side, and I'm having trouble doing this at this angle because I got to work around the camera. You can actually just peel up the corner if you're having a hard time telling which side is the correct side. I'll do that sometimes if I'm using like a cheaper HTV that I can't totally tell, and clearly I can't cut a straight line to save my life on this. So make sure this is pressed down really, really well. And like I said, make sure your mirror is on, which I have triple checked because I'm one of those that always forgets. We're going to load it. It's going to pull it in, and then it'll check the blade. I'll move you guys so you guys can see that. The other thing I want to mention is a lot of people ask me this. If you have an Explore machine, so an Explore Air 1, 2, whatever you have, those machines, you'll need to go to your dial and set it to custom, and then on your screen, you'll search for the glitter. You won't just have the screen pulled up automatically unless you have it already set to custom. So make sure you do set that to your custom setting. I will say that a lot of people just leave it on the custom, and you can just select all of your different types of products that way, and that way you're never having to really think about changing your dial, because it'll automatically ask you what material you're using, which is really nice. It's just kind of a handy thing to have. But we're going to get this cut out, and we're going to weed it, and then we can get ready to apply it to the bunny. So we're ready to press our bunny. Now I'm going to have to preheat his ears a little bit. I do that because that's basically what the glitter HTV suggests. So I will usually warm the ear up. And this seems so cruel. I always feel terrible when I do it to these poor stuffed animals. And they're not the easiest to do, because you kind of got to, like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I've got it against my hip, and then I'm flattening its poor little ear, and then I'm just going to run the plate over it. Now, I don't know, I might have to actually, the Teflon sheet on mine likes to stick to the top of my heat press, so a lot of times I just let it, but for some reason it's sticking really bad and it's catching the edge of the ear. So make sure your ear is flat, and I'm just going to do a super quick press, nothing crazy, just a little bit to warm him. I don't even do it for maybe a second. That's really all it takes, and this thing slides around. I can't wait to get a new one. I don't like this one. So what we're going to do then is, now that it's warm-ish, I'm going to place the vinyl on. So make sure your ear is flat, and put the vinyl where you want it. I'm going to move this up just a twinge. Luckily, because it's a little stuffed animal, it's not going to be noticeable if it's not fully straight. Now, I will say that this little guy does have some seaming. So I'm going to use this fabric, and I folded it up pretty small. And I'm going to use that to help lift up the center of the ear, because I want to make sure I get a good grip on this. And so now I'm going to let the poor little guy hang for a second. I'm going to hold it with my knee. Told you guys, this is just cruel and unusual punishment to these poor little animals. And we're going to go ahead and press. Now make sure that your Teflon sheet is fully covering your bunny rabbit. And actually, I'm going to need to slide that off again, because I want to make sure that the name didn't move. It didn't. We're good. But I like to make sure that my Teflon sheet is fully covering my animal, because I don't want to touch any of the heat directly to the animal's little poor ear. It would be so cruel. It'd be so mean. So I usually, it says 15 seconds. I don't do that as long on the stuffed animals, because I don't want to burn their fur, and you can. And what you're going to do is check it and see if it's adhered, and it has. So these are really fuzzy on the outsides. A lot of people are doing them on the inside for that reason. I don't like the inside on them. I think they look weird, and I really wanted to do hot pink. So I'm going to go ahead and repress it one more time, real quick like. And when we go to peel off the transfer, we're going to just do it nice and slow. So let me move the hot part out of the way, and hopefully you guys will be able to see this. This is not the easiest angle to do this from, but you want to peel hot, and I like to try to peel it as warm as possible. And I'll flip this over so you guys can see it the correct way. There we go. And then once it's cooled down, you can fluff the rest of its fur back out, and it'll look perfectly fine. I do recommend using a glitter or a flock for this, because otherwise you're going to be able to see the wrinkles from the fur and the bunny rabbit. So let's do the other ear and just do the same thing. I'm going to put the poor little bunny. I'm telling you guys, this just feels so mean. I'm going to put the poor little bunny, and I think my other vinyl thing must have bumped off. So again, I hold him with my knee. I know you guys can't see that part, but I am holding him down with my knee so that he's not going anywhere while he's warming. I'm going to grab the other decal because it fell off. All right, one toasty warm ear. Okay. And then this one, you can place it however you want, whichever direction, whether you want it to read up and down. I kind of want it to read the same direction that her name is reading. So we're going to put that there. Make sure you do have a Teflon sheet or a piece of parchment paper between your vinyl and your heat press, or your iron, or your flat iron, whatever you're using. A lot of people will use flat irons on these because they're so small. I have done that, and it does work pretty well. But for this one, we're going to use the heat press just because it's right here and easy to access. And then the flat iron, I have to go downstairs. So again, this one's super sticky. So just be aware of that. And this one I might press again with the transfer off. It doesn't feel quite as smooth. And if that's the case, like when you go to pull off your sticky transfer paper, you can easily stick this right back under. Same thing, I'm just going to hold his poor little guy. I'm going to hold him down again because this one just doesn't feel quite as smooth. So, and then I'm going to just take my heat press again and just press it on my bunny again. And I'm going to let this one warm up because it just doesn't feel quite as smooth as her name does over here. And I might actually repress her name one more time too, just to be safe. But you can always repress if you need to. Just try not to burn them. Again, though, with the fluff, they are going to like move around a little bit, so it's never going to be like 100% perfect. But here's the first Easter part. I don't know how well you guys can see this because it's super bright in here because daylight savings, yay. So I'm just going to press her name one more time just so I'm fully comfortable with how well this adhered. And I will say that stuffed animals tend to give off kind of an awkward stench. A lot of it's from the plastic that's in their fur, because they do have plastic in their fur. Okay, that one does not want to press. There we go. I'm telling you guys, look how cruel this looks. I feel so bad. But this should be the last pressing, and then I don't want to have to feel so bad that I squished the bunny. All right, look at that. Look how cute. All right, let's go over and I'll show you the whole thing sitting so you can actually see it. Here is our finished bunny. Super cute, and you guys, again, you can always do it either on the outside of the ear or on the inside. I just prefer it on the outside because they seem to sit a little more naturally that direction. And I really wanted to use this hot pink glitter because she is such a little girly girl, and it's just, her mother just gives off the vibe that I think she would love the hot pink glitter. So this is a super easy craft to do. The bunnies, again, from Walmart for $6. They come in, I think, 6 or 7 colors. Tons of options. These are great for pretty much anyone, especially little ones, but they're good for even adults on your list. I wouldn't complain if I got one. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos all the time. Hit the bell icon. That will alert you to when I post a new video. Have a great day and happy crafting.